Hello and welcome to Eye on Africa. I'm Clarisse Fortuny. Now the headlines. South Africa versus New Zealand in a game of titans. Springboks and All Blacks go in search of record fourth Rugby World Cup title in Paris this Saturday. October is pink, the color of awareness about breast cancer. We'll meet a woman who's been fighting the disease for the last 3 years in Central African Republic. Clash of the Titans. This Saturday, South Africa will face New Zealand during the Rugby World Cup final, a repeat of 1995 final. But if the Springboks are hoping for the same outcome with a fourth title, they're far from underestimating their adversaries.
You can never underestimate them. They are a very, very special team. There's one thing for them that I know for sure. They are individuals. They don't hide behind the systems. They always express themselves according to their X factor. So if you look at what they've selected, they've probably selected the best possible 23 players. And it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, and whoever is going to win tomorrow will probably have to be in the game for proper 85 minutes.
I'll just do the best wherever I can to make sure that I have a positive impact towards the team and for my teammates, and make sure that I contribute in whatever way I can.
And for more on this, I'm joined by Leo McGueen. He's with us, France 24 sport journalist. So Leo, tell me, what are the chances for South Africa?
Honestly, Clarisse, this match is so hard to call. Balanced on a knife edge, I would say. And as you said earlier, the winners will make history. They'll become the first side to win 4 World Cup titles. If I'm being honest, I think the Springboks are seen as slight underdogs, and that might be because they've had a tougher route to the final. They beat England by 1 point in the semi-final in the last minute, whereas New Zealand had a much easier game. They kind of breezed past Argentina, so that game will have taken a physical toll on South Africa, and that's why New Zealand are seen as slight favourites. But it's impossible to ignore the fact that South Africa just don't know how to lose. Quarter-final up against the host France, they won by 1 point. Semi-final against England, as I say, last minute, 1 point. And one key word when it comes to this Springboks side is experience. It's the most experienced squad in the tournament by far, an average age of over 30. 12 of the South African players that are lining up in tomorrow's 15 actually played a part in the final 4 years ago, which, of course, the Springboks won. So while the Springboks are slight underdogs, I would say you certainly can't rule out their chances tomorrow night.
Plus, we have Siya Kolisi. He could be, I believe, the second captain to lift the trophy back-to-back.
He would be the second captain to lift the trophy back-to-back, the second captain to lift it 2 times after Richie McCaw did it for New Zealand 2011 and 2015. And really, Siya Kolisi, you can't underestimate his legacy, not just as a rugby player, but as a human, and the impact he's had on rugby in South Africa. He made history. He was actually South Africa's first ever black captain. A year later, in 2019, he became the first ever black captain to lift the trophy. And as you say, he'd be the second man to lift it consecutively. But it's not just about his influence on the pitch, which is huge. He's the heartbeat of that South African team. Off the pitch as well, he's created the Kolisi Foundation. It provides opportunities for those who are disadvantaged in South Africa. So yeah, look, a win tomorrow would really be the cherry on the top of Kolisi's career. But win or lose, he'll go down as not only a rugby, not only a sporting, but just as a legend in general.
Leo, thank you very much.
Thank you, Clarisse.
Game to watch tomorrow. And even though football remains by far the king of African sports, rugby is increasingly finding its place, particularly in lands where it was still the exception just a few years ago, like in Senegal, where the overwhelming majority of players are still male, but some young women also have heavy dreams of success with the oval ball. Aminatou Diallo, Eli Mandao, Sam Bradpiece.
Umi is fearless on the pitch, relentlessly smashing her way through opponents. At just 17, she's already the pride of her club in Dakar's Yoff neighbourhood. She trains here 4 hours a week in a mixed-sex team. She's recognised as one of the key leadership figures at the club, defying the sport's gendered stereotypes.
Ever since I was small, I liked coming here for rugby training. I made friends and practiced my favourite sport. It was truly very cool.
In Senegal, rugby is still a long way off becoming as popular as football or wrestling. It's almost impossible to find proper rugby pitches in the country. Umi and her teammates are forced to train on the sand. While these conditions are not ideal, Umi remains determined. Her coach says she is a real talent.
When she plays, she really gives it her all. Her movement, her tackling, everything she does, she gives it her all. She's young but very promising. There's not even a difference between her abilities and those of the men. We have great hopes for her.
At the family home, Umi's playing career is a matter of pride. Her father gives her unconditional support.
It's a physical sport for sure, but strength is about more than muscle. She's strong mentally and she believes in herself. We also believe in her. One day, we hope to see her reach great heights. And why not also in a World Cup, where we can see her on TV?
Umi hopes to make it into the national team and plans to begin a program to help her gain muscle mass, a key ingredient if she hopes to go professional.
And still in sport, don't miss another heavyweight clash tomorrow. Former UFC champion Francis Ngannou will be making his boxing debut in Riyadh. The French Cameroonian will fight Tyson Fury, British WBC champion. October, now called the Pink Month, the name of a campaign raising awareness about breast cancer screening and to raise funds for research. Every year, the disease kills more than 500,000 women around the world, but 90% of early-stage breast cancers are curable. Mylène Limbio lives in Central African Republic, and she has been battling breast cancer for 3 years. Justice Baidu and Melino Banjo report.
Mylène is making the final installations to welcome her first customers, who are due at any moment. The businesswoman and mother of 2 daughters discovered a lump in her left breast 3 years ago. Her doctor ordered an ultrasound and an emergency mammogram. After weeks of testing, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I had my left breast removed. In 2020, I began a 5-year hormonal therapy treatment. I was told that remission is after 5 years, for the breast cancer to be considered cured.
Despite the shock of the diagnosis, Mylène remains optimistic thanks to the precious support of those close to her. Petula, one of her friends, often picks up her analysis results.
Breast cancer does not just concern women. The whole family needs to help out. All over the world, when we talk about breast cancer, people immediately think it means death. But when it's detected early, the survival rate is very high.
The Pasteur Institute in Bangui launched a screening operation for 150 women.
Women who have tested positive with high-risk strains of cancer get regular checkups with gynecologists. Some will undergo hemocoagulation, which allows the cancerous lesions to be removed.
In the Central African Republic, it's a disease that's not very well known in the country, but the Ministry of Health and the Pasteur Institute organizes awareness and screening campaigns each year to educate people about its consequences.
And that's it for this edition. Thank you for watching Eye on Africa. Keep on watching France 24 for more news.